Oh, hey everybody, welcome back. It's Steve. You know what? I just realized that my Nespresso coffee machine needs to be descaled. So you're in luck. We're going to tackle that today because luckily it's something that even I can do. Alright, so this is our Nespresso. It's an Evoluo. I'll probably pronouncing it wrong. I can barely pronounce regular words correctly, so forgive me. And we believe it's in need of descaling. We notice that the volume of coffee produced with each cup has actually gone down a little bit. And that could be because there's some scale that's built up in there. We have very hard water, so not surprising. Unlike my Keurig machine, the Nespresso doesn't tell you when it's time to descale. They just recommend that you do it once every 300 pods. So I don't know how you're going to keep track of that. Just figure out what you do on a kind of weekly basis and then maybe figure out how often you should do it. 3 months is probably a good rule of thumb. Okay, so for this project you're going to need about 30 to 45 minutes and you do have to kind of pay attention, so make sure you have that time available. You're also going to need one of these descaling kits. They're available on Amazon. I do have a link for it. And you get 2 in here and they're about $10. Now if you've seen my Keurig descaling video, I just try to save money and use vinegar and water solution, but they make a big deal about not doing that with the Nespresso, and since it's only 10 bucks for 2, I figured why take the chance. So that's what I recommend you do as well. Okay, so for step 1, we're going to cant this back. Just rocks back, it unsnaps, and remove it, and we'll dump out our water. Alright, so the lid just lifts off, and we're going to dump out your water, and we will then add our solution. So like I said, it does come with 2 in the package, but you just need the 1, and you'll need a pair of scissors to cut the corner off. And we'll add it to our container. Alright, so once you've added the fluid, then we're going to fill this up about halfway with just regular water. Now I should note that this stuff is toxic, so do not have any children drinking it, or don't drink it yourself, of course. And it also could stain, so you might want to put down some towels if you have a particularly nice counter. And then again, make sure this is about halfway. So I think that's about right. Alright, we'll put our lid back on and we'll go back to our machine. Okay, so we'll put this back into place. And then with the machine still on, let's pop this open and make sure there's no pods in there. We'll close it back up. We're going to remove our pods, and you can see ours is pretty full here, so we're going to put those in a recyclable bag. So it's nice, they will recycle these for you. Just fill this up, and it comes with a prepaid label and everything. You just drop it off at the UPS store and they will get it back to them and recycle the grounds and the containers themselves, which are all recyclable, so that's nice. When you take the empty pod cartridge off, you're going to notice that some of the excess coffee has spilled in there, so it's kind of stained. I'd take a wet cloth and just wipe that out while you're at it. Keep things a little bit cleaner. Go ahead and grab the little tray here as well. We're going to rinse that out. Coffee can collect in there. Alright, so let's rinse both out. This container, and then we'll rinse this out. Make sure that it's all clean, doesn't have any coffee left in there, and then we will wipe it down with a towel. And we'll just put these things back in place. Alright, now we're ready to put it in the descaling mode. So we're going to push the button on the top. We're going to push and hold. The light should go out, and then it should start blinking quickly. And that should take about maybe 7 seconds. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, now with the fast blinking light, you're going to turn the lever into the lock mode, and then back to the unlock mode. Lock, unlock. So then again, we're going to push and hold the button until it goes out and then comes back on and blinks quickly. Alright, so those last 2 steps have to be done quickly within 45 seconds or it won't work. Alright, so since I was messing around doing the filming here, I'm back in the non-blinking state, so let's repeat those steps and we'll do it in the time allowed. So here we go. We're going to push and hold and wait for the fast blink. We're going to lock and unlock. And then we'll once again push and hold. It'll go out. About 6 seconds. And now we have a fast blink again, and we're going to put it back into the lock mode. Again, if it's not in the fast blink, then you are not in the right state. So you're gonna have to repeat those last 2 steps. All right, so they tell you to put a 20-ounce cup under the spigot so that when you begin the descaling process, it will run into this cup. 20 ounces is not going to be big enough, especially when they tell you to fill up the tank 2/3 of the way full for the rinse and 1/2 for the descaling process. So be aware of that. You're going to have to switch out your cups or get a much bigger cup than 20 ounces. I would recommend that if you have anything below your unit, you remove it, like we have our pod thing here. If it overflows the cup, then it could get down in here and get your pods wet or whatever else, your important papers and whatever that are laying nearby. So clear the area and then start the process. So we'll put our cup in here. The cup is too tall, so we'll have to remove our little tray and then just place it underneath the spigot. Next, we'll push the button once. It's going to be a push and release. All right, so if everything's working properly, what you should see is a fast blinking light on top, and the machine should be dispensing the liquid into your cup. Now, you'll have your solution in there. Once it's run through the solution, the machine should go quiet, and that's when you'll know it's done. All right, so it's done its thing with the solution. Now you'll notice that it literally filled this cup to the top. And in fact, I think a little bit spilled over. Okay, a couple quick notes. Number one, the water is in fact hot, so be careful. And if you're using a cup like this where it's flexible, which I now don't recommend, it could spill out over the top, especially if it's filled to the brim like I was filled to the brim here. All right, next we want to rinse out our water tank. So let's do that. And once we've rinsed it out thoroughly, we'll put it back on the machine about 2/3 full. All right, 2/3, lid back on, we'll put it back on our machine. All right, we replaced our water tank, and you'll notice I put a new, slightly larger cup under the spigot so that hopefully it doesn't overflow again. And we are ready to go to finish the rinsing process. So that's just a single push on the top. And it should activate and the water should start flowing through. And once it is finished, then we should be good. So as you're making this, if you see that it's starting to get close to the top, you might want to have another cup standing by to swap it out. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to do that. Okay, so it's done. So what I learned today is that it takes all the water out of the tank. So no matter how much you put in there, it's going to suck it down. So that means when you put in 2/3 of a tank, like it said you should do, it's going to take way more than 20 ounces. This is our second cup, and we are talking about 22-ounce cups here. So we're looking at maybe 30 or 34 ounces. So be ready to swap the cups as you are in progress here. I got distracted and didn't do that, so that's why we had the overflow the first time. Now, the amount of water you want to run through here, the more the better, I think, because it's going to flush out all that descaling solution. So don't cut down the amount of water you put in there just to avoid this problem. All right, then the next step, we're just going to push our button here at the top. We're going to push and hold. It's going to take about 6 seconds, and once it stops flashing, then the process is complete. So. All right, so we'll refill our water tank. And I recommend using some sort of bottled water or filtered water. The water we have in our neighborhood here is very hard water, which will just cause the machine to scale up again really rapidly. So this also has minerals in it, so it's not going to be the perfect solution, but I think it's going to be better than the water out of the tap. And maybe your coffee will taste better. Place that on the unit. And then we'll take a damp cloth and wipe down the unit, and it is pretty much done. All right, much better. There's nothing like a little scale to ruin a good cup of coffee. Now, you do need to wait about 10 minutes after you finish the descaling to let the machine rest for some reason. I don't know why, but that's what they recommend. So we did that, and everything is working well. Now, if you like this little tray system, I put a link for that down below. It's an affiliate link, and if you use those, that helps out the channel. It's a way to show appreciation for the video. You can also hit that like button or subscribe, whatever you want to do. I do appreciate it, and it makes me know that people want to see more of these videos. All right, that's all I have for today. So until next time, this has been Steve for things that even I can do.